Alright, hopefully I'm framed up okay, and hopefully you guys can see me okay, since my view screen on this camera still doesn't work. For those of you who didn't know, I did recently move back to Phoenix, Arizona, and my new job is working at a movie theater. Yay! So, before when I said in the introduction video that seeing newer movies would be few and far between, now, a benefit of working at the theater is I get to see movies for free. I think I am still limited on opening night releases, so might not be any of those, but once they've been out for like a day, I can usually get in to see them. I just have to schedule with my manager, make sure it's okay, we're not sold out on seats or anything like that. So, I just got out of seeing Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters. Not sure how much tape or battery I got left on here, so if I suddenly cut off, I apologize. Trying to get these thoughts out while they're fresh. The preview of Hansel and Gretel, I thought it looked interesting, but at the same time I was kind of worried it would fall in line with Van Helsing or was it the Brothers Grimm movie, you know, that kind of thing. Which Brothers Grimm wasn't horrible, but yeah, it was kind of, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, I was more worried that it was going to turn out like Van Helsing. And I have to say, it did not. It was kind of along the lines of Brothers Grimm, but a little bit more action. The story, it still drug on in certain parts, but not as bad as the Brothers Grimm did. Although, it's been a while since I've seen the Brothers Grimm, and even though it was kind of campy and cheesy, I did like the Brothers Grimm. So yeah, I'm about to spoil the hell out of this movie. Well, not the hell out of it, but I'm going to spoil it a little bit. So if you haven't seen it yet and you don't want to know what happens, then turn this off. Otherwise, you've been warned. So it starts out, the mother and the father in the house. It's nighttime. The mother tells the father to take the kids out into the woods. He takes them out, he leaves them there, and they come across the gingerbread house, and there's a witch inside, captures them, tries to fatten up Hansel, and beats Gretel and makes her heat up the stove and whatnot, and then they finally break free and beat the shit out of the witch and throw her into the stove. It's been a while since I heard the actual story. What I remember of the story was it was one of those wicked stepmother things where the stepmother didn't want the children, and it convinced the father to take them out in the woods and leave them there. And they had found their way back to the house, so he took them out again. And because I think the first time Gretel had left a trail of jelly beans or something. I don't know. It's been so long since I heard. Oh, it was rocks. Some type of rocks or beads or something. And the second time he took them out, the mother said, make sure she doesn't have anything that they can leave a trail with. So he took them out again, and that time she'd left a trail of breadcrumbs, which the birds had eaten. So they couldn't follow the trail back, and that's when they found the gingerbread house and so on. So it kind of skips over that part. There's no evil stepmother in this one. It turns out, as the witch is getting ready, or as they're fighting the witch before they throw her into the stove, she tries to use her magic on them, and it doesn't work. Then it has a little opening credit montage of all the years gone by until they're adults and how they become witch hunters even as children. Alright, sorry about that. Battery died, I had to plug it in, so you may hear the engine noise in the background. Sorry about that. So I forgot what I was saying. Okay, so it kind of skipped over all the basics, there's no evil stepmother. But as they were fighting the witch in the gingerbread house, they found out that witch's magic doesn't work on them. Then it does the whole opening montage. It does a little animated thing where it shows like them growing up over the years, becoming witch hunters, even when they were kids. Then they get hired by a town mayor to come in and fight a witch that's been kidnapping children, and so on and so forth. And so it does kind of go along the same lines as the Brothers Grimm, because it does the whole we need 12 children thing. So they go in, they start fighting the witches, and they later find out that it's the town they grew up in. They later find their house and find out that their mother, the reason the magic doesn't work on them is their mother was a white witch and put a protection spell on them, and the villagers were coming to take the mother the night that she told the father to hide them in the woods. That way they wouldn't be killed as well. So they find out all that, then they have the showdown with the other witches, the ones that have been stealing the children, and it all culminates back in the gingerbread house, which is now like rotted away. And yeah, that's kind of where it ends. They have this whole thing throughout the movie where Hansel has basically diabetes, except it's like super diabetes from eating all the candy when he was a kid. He has a watch that winds down every like 10 hours or something like that. I don't know if they ever said the actual time limit, but when it winds down, he has to give himself a shot, otherwise he dies. Now this kind of comes into the climax of the movie when they're fighting the witch. Gretel's knocked out or something, she's not able to help, and Hansel's fighting the witch and he's winning, but then his watch winds down and he reaches for his syringe and it's not there, it's way across the room. They do encounter another white witch earlier in the movie. At one point Hansel is injured and probably gonna die, and she heals him. So when it comes time for, Hansel needs his shot, it's all the way across the room, and he starts to black out. So the witch kind of gets away, and she's about to get the upper hand again, and Gretel manages to get to the shot, gets over to Hansel, injects him, and he's right back up like it's an adrenaline shot, basically. He's like right back on his feet, swinging away again. They eventually kill the witch. Personally, I think they should have went more of the route of when the other white witch healed his injury, that she was able to somehow cure his diabetes too. That way, he could kind of wind down, as his watch is winding down, he could kind of start to black out, but it could just like all be in his head, just because that's the way he's always been told it would happen. And then as the witch would have been fighting off Gretel, he would be able to come back up from behind, still alive, and kill the witch, and then later find out. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen. They go, oh, he just happens to get his shot in time, and that was probably one of the weaker points of the movie to me. I mean, it was a decent climax, but yeah, that's just other things. They could have done a little bit better with it. Again, it does go to that we need 12 children's blood for some ritual thing, which is the same thing the Brothers Grimm did. In this point, the potion they're trying to brew would make it to where any witches that drank the potion would be immune to fire. They could still be killed every other way that a witch could be killed, beheading, all that stuff, but they would be immune to fire, because for some reason there's this big issue with the burning of the witches. So yeah, that's basically the movie. Yeah, I mean, if you liked the Brothers Grimm, you'll probably like this one. It kind of goes along the same route. It's got a little bit better action in it. The effects are a little bit better than Brothers Grimm. Like I said, I do kind of have a liking of Brothers Grimm, even though it's a little on the campy side. This one drags on a little bit in certain points. There's a few points where I was just like, get on with it already, but it wasn't too many. And then there was little quips about, like I said with the syringe thing, there was a couple other instances like that where they just could have done things a little bit better. Another thing that I didn't like about this movie is there's a lot of modernization in it for it being such old times. Like at one point, there's a troll, and because in this storyline, trolls serve witches. So they have a troll, and since Hansel and Gretel's mother was a witch, that makes Gretel a witch as well. So the troll actually helps her out when she's in trouble at one point, and becomes the friendly troll, and helps her throughout the rest of the movie, turning on the bad witches and so on. At one point, the head of the Dark Witches throws him off a cliff, and once they get the upper hand, Gretel runs down to see if he's okay, and he's basically laying there dead. His heart's not beating, so on and so forth. Gretel has this weapon, I guess, that can deliver an electrical spark. Basically, it's kind of a cattle prod or a taser type of thing. So she juices it up and stabs it into his chest, basically, trying to jumpstart his heart, which back in that time they wouldn't have known to do. They use a lot of modern slang, like at one point she tells a guy to be cool. It's just little things like that. If you're going to go for a period piece, go for the period piece. It seems like people don't know how to do that properly anymore. So that's basically it. It wasn't a horrible movie. I'm kind of glad I got to see it for free. If it comes up on Netflix at some point and you have a Netflix account, watch it. It's a good way to kill an hour and a half, 2 hours. I forget how long it was. I think it was about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes. But to go out and buy the DVD or Blu-ray, probably not. To go see it in the theater, may save your money and rent it when it comes out. If they still do they still have rental stores like Blockbuster? And I don't know. If you can still go rent the DVD for $3-4, I'd recommend that as opposed to paying whatever theater prices are. I probably shouldn't be saying that as a employee of the theater, but yeah. If you can see it fairly cheap or for free, check it out. If not, might want to save your money for something else. Not sure what movie I'm going to go see. I got tomorrow off. I might come back up and see another movie. I might see if either The Hobbit or maybe Django Unchained. I hear Django's pretty good. The Hobbit's kind of long. I don't know if I want to sit through that. I will eventually because I like Lord of the Rings, but I heard it's 3 hours or something like that, so that's a bit long for me. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this episode. Now, this movie is still in the theater at the time I'm recording this. I'm not sure when I'm gonna get these posted because I still don't have decent enough internet to upload any of my videos. I can render them to the computer, I can edit them, I can finalize them, have them ready to be uploaded. I just don't have a good enough connection speed to upload them. So it could be another month or so before this gets posted, at which point Hansel and Gretel will probably be out of the theater. But yeah, I went and saw it. Gonna see a lot more. Don't know how many of these I'll be able to record. I don't really have many places I can charge up my battery. I really don't want to have the engine running in the background because it has a weird rattling sound to it. But I don't want to drain my battery just having this plugged into the cigarette lighter. So I will film more of these. I might have to buy some more tapes at some point because I don't want to record over anything, because I've noticed some of my videos that I have uploaded, at least the last 2 that I did, one of them has a glitch in it, so I might re-upload it. So I don't want to record over anything yet until I have everything for sure working. So yeah, I'm kind of rambling now. I would talk about the previews that I saw, but working in the theater, you see thousands of previews over and over and over again all day long. So I really don't remember what ones I saw. There are a few other movies that are coming out that look pretty good, so, you know, with this job's, you know, if I keep this job long enough that all this stuff comes out, then I'll definitely be checking out more. If not, then these videos might be few and far between. Anyway, hopefully I'll keep this job for a while. So that's it. Sorry, I'm rambling now. That knocking sound's probably getting extremely annoying, so we're going to end it here. Not sure when the next video will be, but until then, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.